Okay, how's it going, everybody? This is Sean, and today is the part 2 of eBay Scrapy. Today, I'm going to introduce how does it work, especially for this function, get keywords. With the BeautifulSoup, if you are studying the scrapping, then I hope it will help you to understand how it works as well together here. So mainly, we need to we had already have to install the eBay SDK for the finding APIs that I have introduced in the previous video, and the BeautifulSoup for the others. Yeah, you can see these pictures and yeah, download it if you need, if it is necessary. So let's get into the main one first. So briefly, the way how it works is when you get the app ID from my app ID function, then it will put the app ID into the get keywords, which is referring the finding APIs. And from here, you can gather like the keyword analysis and some of like the data frames that you will use in the upcoming functions later, analyzing and get related items. And then if you want to, then you can restart. So main functions are these three: get keywords, analyzing, and get related items. So let's go up here. So, so when you run it, I believe you have already put the app ID from your own developers at eBay. Well, I told you that it's really easy, but I will put this the same website in the comments again. So yeah, let's see that. So enter your keywords. It is input. So basically, when you put any keywords that the sellers want to explore, then it will gather the input data to keywords. The main API for this time we're going to use eBay SDK. So it is like kind of the brief um, alternative way that you can use eBay API. So when you go up here, the function of finding is here that you can use domain, set up the eBay. Debug, I set it up as false. App ID is your API. Config file is not, yeah, I didn't use any other config file. And so this is like let's say if you are not familiar with this eBay API, let's say this one is like the main basic settings to connect to finding API with eBay SDK. And the API request is, let's say, the configuration, the settings, the specific information that you want to gather the data. Well, if you don't use this one, then you will see a lot of bunch of the data you will gather. I'll show you soon again. And so yeah, we need to specify which one that we want to use. And some of the elements we can use keywords, and output selector is seller info. So how do we get these one? Man, I was so hard to find this one as the first time. Well, shout out to the one of our previous developer. Yeah, I use it easily, but if you want to gather other data within this, you know, this copy, so let's see. If we want to see the documentations, let's go to the developer.ebay.com and documents, all API documentation, and finding API. We're going to use finding API for this one, and API reference. Or you can see them. You can check out the overview if you want to. And this time we will use find items by keywords. Can you see here? So let's say it is like the subtitle of it that we want to explore. Here in find items by keywords, you can gather other information of the products. So you can, yeah, look around here, and the main thing that we would use is first input. So you can specify, do you remember here, the request is the input part, like the keywords that we want to use or output selectors. So we can see here as well, keywords that we want to use or output selectors that we can specify. Yeah, you can refer here if you would like to, and output as well. So, and then the output data after your request will these outputs that you will get there. Like if you don't set any of the settings later, then you will gather all these rare data, raw data on your screen. So I would recommend you to look around here and just choose some of the data that you want to get. And I this time like you execute finance it and with the API request. And once you get the response from this finding API, then you will get the content as XML file this time. With the BeautifulSoup, save it as soup, and there are two main things that I gathered, but let's see here first. The items, the information of items will be searched all as the item part. So like when you get when you print, when you just print items, and then we need to run again. This is just items. Yeah, it's time with my laptop stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Well, if you say water, yeah, just I'm thirsty. When you print the items, it will gather all the 100 information products of the informations, like these ones, just or just with the raw data of XML files. So if you want to avoid this situation, I would recommend you to see this one first, to understand how it looks like, and then please delete this one later. I think my laptop is too slow, so it takes time. But let's say, yeah, we can see here first for the items, the item that we got here would do. Oh, it takes too long. Hold on a second. Okay, so let me delete this dangerous thing. So you have seen the items, elements, and when you go, so there were like 100 products information. So let's say we want to gather each of the products information one by one, and then we of course you need to use for loop, item info to make it as, so we want to get name and the title. It may be a little bit like hard to understand, but the name is the main title of the product, and this title element is actually to understand, to let the computer understand when they make the data frame later. So and append it together. Like if they have some of the blanks, then they cannot run this data. So I just absolutely had to make the title thing from name and category. So item, the main item, category name, and get rid of string and lower. Category ID, we will use this one later in the related items part of the function. So we also need each of the category ID as well. Category ID price item dot current price, that's string. Yeah. Shipping cost is shipping service cost. Item dot shipping service cost. So until yeah, let me finish it. And sometimes they have the non-data, which they will have might have some errors in the data frame area. So I just change, if the shipping cost is none, then I change it to the 0, or else then like shipping out, because you didn't you gather the string, but it will gather the data as, let's say, the tag um, data. So we need to encode it to UTF-8 code again, and then start time, end time, URL as well. And URL sometimes has the non-values, so we need to make it blank or a string. And save old extend. Extend means we put all these elements to the item info in one list. Yeah, you can search it in Google as well. And then we put the one item information that we gathered to the data file, to the data list. So we make a lists of the list, like item lists of the whole data list. And for the title, yeah, we put it on the other side, so we can use later in the data frame. Maybe, yeah, it should be okay. And until here, how did you use the category item or category item? How did you find these ones? They were known in the eBay SDK document. So same thing, same way that we go. Documentations, finding APIs, um, references. Let's go to keywords again. And we just gather the data, so we need to go to the output. And here output, it is the same name, category ID, and category name, or counts, or any other information that you want to gather. Then you can just add like item IDs, which is quite valuable that you can use later um, when you relate with other APIs together. Yeah, so well, if it is still like confusing, you can just try it again. Print items, and yeah, you can just gather the data from that tag name and put it into here, in this area. All right. And yeah, for the first thing, first was here, and let's see, the total entries, I didn't mention it. It is like literally the total entries that you can gather from this API, but we don't need to, it is out of the output of items part, so we need to gather it like separately. And then we make the data, the gathered list of data, list of lists, I mean the data, whole data, into data frame, pandas data frame. And the columns should be the same as here. Name to title, cat to category, the same as here. And then we didn't touch the start time and the end time data type as data type, so we had to use daytime to daytime normalize, same as the end time and start time. So yeah, we finished our the basic data frame, and here you will see the same the print area that you saw, and the keywords are the exact keyword that you input, and the recommendations, um, you gather the, oh yeah, so the title from here, the data that we got in the list. So in this title you will have 100 items of the titles, and then we get the counter, which makes other, like, it will be easier for you to enter Python. Counter is a container that keeps track. So let's say, so it exactly counts the number of the words. So for example, I mean, yeah, trying to explain it in briefly. Like if you use a counter, then you can see like there, wow, there are two A's. Then you can see the two A's, two EBs, three. So it will show the number of the words, and the counts, because we will get the numbers of the words that has been used, and make it most common, the top 10 words, to the string, because we want to print it, so we need to make it string data, or then it will make the errors. Same as entries, we made a string, and yeah, shipping cross distribution was on the value counts, so you can see the print side as well. And actually, I added one more column as sales day length. It is like the duration of the day for this product sellings. So you need to just make it like this: from end time, deduct it to the start time, and make it daytime and days. We need to use days, so the program can understand it is oh, this is the day type. And if we want to see this, let's look at the data frame part, print it, and return category ID and the data frame. For the data frame, we will use here. Well, I didn't specify the name of data frame because it is not like overlapped elements, so I just prefer using this one this time. And well, if you want, you can, yeah, edit the name of it. For the category ID, you're gonna use it in the get related items. That you will specify the categories to get together the related items based on the keyword and the category items. Okay, this is it, and thank you for watching it, and let's look at the next video with the analyzing parts. Thank you.